go! Lovely noise off the boat, so you could really hear the sort of nice flash clip of the water with the blade locks on at the front, and then the real surge of power as it runs past the boat.
So there's some real class in both these boats. The German boat has got, well, in the bow and the stroke seat, the pair that won junior gold medal in the Rio Olympics.
Oh, Austrians just being warned there to go back to their station, just veering off a little bit. Let's hope that doesn't affect the race too much. Both crews are actually going to the right-hand side now. It's interesting.
I think you do that if you're looking at the other crew and trying to keep the same gap. You tend to maybe steer off the other crew.
You do a little bit, don't you? It's almost easier doing it off the other crew than it is off the boom. Let's just hope they don't get too close to this boom on the near side of the picture here.
So two 2015 world champions, junior champions in the German boat at bow and stroke. Those two men really experienced in this sort of conditions. It was pretty choppy in Rio, and the Austrians have got a fantastic heritage. They were one place behind the German crew last year in Plovdiv at the under-23 world champions. They finished in 8th place overall. Tidy time of 6:12 in difficult conditions, and well, in that race in Plovdiv, Adam, they showed really good early speed. They were right in contact with the race early on, so they know how to get out the blocks quickly, the Austrians.
It's still very evenly matched, isn't it? You know, there's not much in it here, maybe a couple of feet, and both crews are just settling into their rhythm and getting into the sort of long haul against this gusty wind and slightly bouncy water at times.
So we've got a great shot there of the Austrian crew, experienced under-23 internationals. That's why they're in this top-level event. Earlier we've seen the Dutch Olympic four have a really closely contested race with the British under-23s, who pushed them right the way down the course, Adam.
They did, didn't they? Yeah, that was a great race to watch. So this is the other half of the final, basically, isn't it? These two crews shooting out here. Still quite close to the booms here on the Austrian crew on the left-hand side of the shot now.
Yeah, I think it's all right if you can steer down there and just get a straight line. I mean, I was looking down the course yesterday, and it is a lovely course to steer if you just look straight down, because you've got lines everywhere. But of course, if you lose your concentration, if you get into looking at the other crew and your steering focus gets lost, then gust of wind hits you, and then that's it.
Very much so. That vanishing point is very tricky when you only get one line on the one side, and you've got those lollipops at the start that help you line up, but it can be tricky, and as we were saying with the gusts, that can just knock you off course. And as you can see here, that Austrian crew's now heading over to the right-hand side of the shot, and if they keep going that way, there could be a collision here with the German crew.
So it looks like the two crews are just neck and neck. The under-23s, you'd say marginally more experienced. A couple of juniors, well, it's the back of Olaf Roggensack, who took gold in Rio last year for the Junior World Championships, the test event for the Olympics, and his pairs partner in the front of the boat, Schmittler.
We've also got Jacob Schneider in the two-seat. He's obviously won the silver medal in the Cox pair at the Worlds, so he's got some good experience as well to add to that German crew. But it's the Austrians still in the lead.
Well, we did say they had good early pace, but they found a little lacking in the under-23 Worlds last year. Just in the middle course of that B final, they raced against Germany. That's where they lost contact. The Germans just broke through. So I think what they've done is, out there where they train on Villach and that course near Linz, is just done some work to really get the middle of their course up to a much better standard.
I think they've done that though, doesn't it? It looks like they've really, that middle chunk of the course now, they've just laid it down. They've actually got a close to a length's lead now.
So the semi-final of the Stewards Challenge Cup for international fours, and closest to you we have the crew from Essen Ruderklub and Ruderverein Villach, Austria. That's these guys rode close to Vienna in Austria. The World Championship and World Cup course in Villach is one of the courses that rowers know very well, and the Austrians have really dominated this race from early on, where they had a slight lead and they've extended it through the middle. I have to say, looking at this race, I did expect a little closer contest from this German crew. I thought that that experience of the boys at stroke and bow from the juniors maybe be a bit more aggressive early on, perhaps take advantage of that Berkshire station they had on the left-hand side of your picture, but it wasn't to be.
It looks like the Austrian crew on the right-hand side of the screen now is really getting into their groove now, and it looks very nice how they're moving, actually. I think that's just going to keep adding to the distance between the two crews. It looks quite effortless. It looks enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's funny how that is when you've got a crew in front and, you know, it's all looking good, and the only thing that can change in an instant, we saw that in the heat of the visitors yesterday, where the Oxford Brooks and Delft crew just sprinted like mad, and the Adelaide boys tensed up a little bit.
I think that's maybe what's happening here in the German boats, actually. It's just that little bit of tension that's just crept in. It's just stopping them from moving sweetly.
See, the umpire's warning the Austrians there. I mean, if the Germans can just get a sprint on, I don't think they've got it in them. It seems that, you know, their race is run in these conditions. But you see the stroke man just look round there, Querfeld, the junior gold medalist in the pairs, look, what can I do? And maybe that will have given them a little heart.
That's always the thing to do, isn't it? You know, if the other crew's veering around, if you can just sort of put in a bit of a blast and give them a bit of a kick, that has been a bit of a factor, isn't it, in the Austrian boat? It's that steering, sort of moving from side to side a little bit too much.
The German crew coached by an Olympic pairs champion from the 1972 Olympics and 1976 Olympics, and if I'm not mistaken, the 1980 Olympics, Bernd Langvoigt, who won those pairs golds with his brother Frank. Sorry, he didn't win in 72, he won in 76 and 80. That was Baltimore Mark who won in 72.
Oh, it's closing down as the finish here. The Germans have found another gear, actually.
Yeah, it's a sprint.
Getting close as well.
I don't think they're going to do it, though. The Austrians, well, they've got the overlap. It's funny how smooth and how relaxed it looked, and then you just see the collapse of the finish and the effort.
They were lucky. They're locking oars now, but they're lucky that didn't happen just at the last stage of the race there.